ない存在よね。英雄𝐒𝐮𝐲𝐸沢の弟子、グランドマスター結城神楽坂や聖騎士団長日向坂口も西側諸国では権力者だけれど、魔王リムルには及ばないとなると。
ということは。
With this week's episode of Slime Anime, episode number 13, it's pretty apparent, but I thought I would definitely need to call this out. And I feel like with this episode specifically, it's a need to call it out. Somebody very intelligent in the comments last week kind of made it a point that said something that I already knew, but maybe have never said before. It's hard to remember. You say, you know, you cover so many anime, you say so many things, but inherently, you know, that time I got reincarnated as a slime really isn't about kind of like the big action-packed moments, you know, real like, you know, shit hitting the fan constantly. It's really about like a slow political type isekai drama. And it really, you know, in a sense, it really is kind of like this fantasy anime about a dude getting, you know, isekai into a world and finding his way and kind of making his own. And there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of world building, there's a lot of character development, there's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of plot development, there's a lot of build up. And every so often we are catered with a Veldora fight, or we're catered with a, you know, Rimuru versus Demon Lord fight, or we're catered with, you know, a Hinata fight, you know, 2-3 times over, a Shizuru fight. You know what I mean? Like we're catered to these big action moments, but they're all in tandem working towards a completing an objective or goal within the world, trying to overcome a nation, trying to overthrow a nation, trying to become a demon lord, getting revenge. But at the root of it, though, this is more of a like slow life type show, and I've never had a problem with it. I think, you know, this season, the first 5 or 6 episodes were really all of them just sitting around a table talking. And I do think it might have gone over by 1 or 2 episodes. Like, I think they could have reined it back in a little bit. But by and large, I really enjoyed all of that stuff because it set up so much that's to come. And it's very similar vibes now, because if you guys kind of saw, this is like the second half now of the season. This is like the second core starting of season 3. It's very apparent that they're doing a lot of setup, and it happened this episode, right? They're establishing the Colosseum. They're establishing the Labyrinth. They've established Remoris, whatever her name is, her and Trainee, you know, the Demon Lord, set up a labyrinth here. So they've set that up. My favorite part is episode, they introduced us to the Elf Queen, or like the queen of the elves, or the sorcerers, or whatever they're called. But we had the Elf Queen being introduced to us, and we found out that she's extremely intelligent, and she realizes that, first off, that Rimuru is a reincarnated fellow, and he has a lot of pre-existing knowledge from his world, and he has now gained the power to make those things that he could potentially implement. He has the power to do it, and he's doing it now. And she had to school the elf dude of like, yo, this deal that you struck up with him for the, you know, for the transportation routes, he got one over on you, because by Rimuru saying, hey, Tempest will cover all the construction, you're just going to give us a piece of the pie, they've lost their negotiation tactics. And I was like, wow, she's very up and up. Like, she's very intelligent. You know, obviously she's long lived and stuff, and it makes sense that she's intelligent. She's a good, you know, a good foothold on Demon Lord. She has a good foothold on human thinking and technology. So she's like, yo, you lost the battle, because any leverage that we would have as a nation, you know, to maybe renegotiate tolls in the future, it's gone, because we didn't have any part in it. We just said, yeah, you're good. And he's like, oh my God. And then she has a strong appetite to get the patissier, or the chef dude that was also a reincarnated person who's going over to Tempest. She's like, that's my guy. So just the whole thing was just like really well intricated, really well written. And now she's gonna go over, you know, she said that, yo, I can't deny his invitation. So now, you know, he's gonna have like some legit relations with the Elf Queen, which I think is really, really cool stuff. On top of that, too, we got to see 𝐜𝐡𝐚𝐧𝐽𝐩𝐸, the king of the dwarves. Apparently, the people around him are still not very confident in Rimuru, but thankfully, 𝐜𝐴ZL came to his kind of like, not safety, but like, you know, came to his like, you know, defense of like, no, that's my friend. Like, you know, whatever you guys think, he won't do me wrong. And it's very true. Like, Rimuru holds 𝐜𝐴ZL in a very, very high manner. He was the kind of like, he was like the first dude to put him on, like, so, you know, he's going to go there too. So all of this stuff, all this intricacy is all starting to get, you know, because all these important people of all the different natures are going to come to Tempest, and they're going to get, you know, they're going to get the 9-star treatment, you know, this festival and all this other stuff. And they're going to be doing like political, you know, back end deals, just like they did before he ascended to Demon Lord and stuff. So, man, just so much cool stuff happened this episode. And, you know, I think by this point, you know, I think if you're this far into the show, not only 13 episodes into this season, but then also this is the 3rd season. There was also Slime Diaries, which was awesome. But I would in the movies. So I would say if you have, I think I can confidently say that if you have watched and absorbed all this content, like I think that you can't really be mad at the show for doing what it's always done. But, you know, I definitely want to acknowledge that, you know, when a show goes pretty deep, like I mentioned the first 5 or 6 episodes, I don't remember how many it was. You know, I think we can all admit that, you know, sometimes when, even though the drama and political intrigue and stuff, even though that it's like, it's interesting, you know, eventually you're like, okay, I think, you know, I think I would like an episode to come in and shake it up, even if it's like even if it's like a Benimaru side story or something. Like, I would like for them to come and shake it up. And I think we all have to kind of acknowledge that, even if we are, you know, really enjoying the content, that, you know, it can get a little old and tiring, you know, if there isn't something that just shakes it up. If it's just, you know, another 6 episodes at the round table, I think we have to acknowledge that it can get, you know, it can get a little daunting, a little boring. And I think that, if, you know, the studio has to really manage that, like, hey, there's a chance that if we put this forward as our product too many weeks on end, that people just pause, or they have the I'll come back mentality, like, you know, and then their viewership drops. So I think it's a balance. And I do think that those first 5 or 6 episodes, whatever it was, I keep mentioning, I do think that they could have been, you know, 2 episodes shorter. So as long as that doesn't repeat itself again, I think we're in a good spot. But my enjoyability was like a 10. I laughed this episode. Ramaris, I thought is awesome. However you say her name, you know, tell me in the comments, whatever. But, you know, I thought, you know, she was really funny in this episode. I love all the dialogue between her and Trainee and Beretta. And I like seeing the different way that they're going to construct the Coliseum. I like finding out that they're going, you know, where the Lycans or the wolf folks live, the beast people live. I like how they're going to eventually make that into like a new capital. Like, just seeing like all this big vision for everything. All it does really is make me have a really strong appetite for a Slime Diary season 2 that fills in the gaps between season, you know, 3 and 4, or between 2 and 3. Just like Slime Diaries filled in the gaps between 1 and 2, for all the stuff that we don't get to see. So, anyways, Reincarnated Slime, episode 13. Chef's Kiss, 9 out of 10. I thought this episode was awesome. So, let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. And my friends, I'll see you guys next week for episode 14. Peace.